Welcome to the tea room where we are talking about trading. Uh, yep, I do not have an official office. I am just talking wherever I can talk. We're looking today at an issue that I've been working on, that I've been thinking a lot about, and that I wanted to bring you along for the conversation. Something that's been particularly helping me is examining, for example, why did I lose this particular trade? Take a look here, and as you look at this, uh, maybe you're thinking to yourself, "Hey, look, it looks like he lost the trade because he missed it was a bull flag," or maybe you think, "Hey, it really looks like you lost this trade because there was a liquidity sweep, or you're not using the right confluence of another EMA, or perhaps you need a MACD or an RSI or something like that in this trade." Okay, set aside those types of thoughts that are coming to your mind for a second, and just just think with me for a minute, because uh, there's something else happening here when we take a trade and we lose. How many of us, as we do this, we begin to think in terms of winning and losing? So, in other words, we're thinking about, like, who is it against me in this moment, perhaps. If I'm trying to sell and I lose the trade, it means the bulls were winning. It means the bulls took me out. They saw what I was doing. Perhaps you might even think of it like that. Or, I went and I was buying. The trend was up. The EMA was up. Everything was a go. And then all of a sudden, the bears just clobbered me. Um, so I want to talk a little bit about how we have an attitude adjustment, if you will, reframing basically how we think about these losses, and we'll get to it about the wins. Uh, there are many ways that we can, I think, portray who we're against, or who we are trading against, as it were, as if you know I'm trading, and it was either the bulls, or maybe it was some imaginary guy. I'm picturing another trader, a retail trader like you on the other side. You and I are trading. We're competing, and I'm selling and you're buying, and we're trying to battle this thing out. And you were stronger, and so you won, and therefore I'm against you. Well, whenever we lose, in a game, we get upset, and it makes us upset about whatever we were playing, and whenever we win, we celebrate. And it's the more or the less the scoring happens, the more celebration happens. This is why I think with basketball, for example, there might be a little less celebrating than there is with football, because with football, you might get 2, 3, 4 touchdowns in a game, but with basketball, you're getting hundreds of hundreds of points. So it's not like they're celebrated as much. My point is that the more intense the scoring is, the more animated we get, because we were able to beat them, or they beat us. Maybe you don't think of it in terms of sellers or and buyers, or bulls and bears, or however you want to phrase that. Maybe you're thinking it's the hedge funds. Maybe you're thinking it's J.P. Morgan and Bank, or whatever. Maybe it's some big mover that you're thinking in terms of they're your enemy at this point. And maybe you think, well, they saw my stop down there. They knew if they came down and swept my stop out, and then they'll just head in the right direction anyways. We've all had that trade happen over and over again. So maybe you're thinking in terms of that. I wonder if that's also there, or you are against the market as a whole. So it's like this thing you're trading, you're actively looking at these bars, printing, thinking, I'm against this. We like to have an enemy that we're fighting. And really, I think, as we think about this, the real trap in all of this, us versus them, is it creates this attitude of really a personal loss. So what I want to suggest, in this attitude adjustment that should help you and I as we continue forward and grow in 2026 as we're trading. One big attitude adjustment is to get rid of us versus them. Here's why. So when you take a trade, number one, you're trading so small that you're insignificant. Unless you maybe, I doubt anybody's listening to me who would be trading with, 1,000 or 2,000 contracts. But, some of the bigger hedge funds, from what I understand, they're trading up around 5,000, 10,000 contracts. That's a lot. And so they're the ones who really are helping the market, will make a visible move depending upon how they place their order. Excuse me. So, your one contract on a futures market, like on the NQ or the ES or something, nobody's paying attention to you. Nobody even knows that we're adding or subtracting from anything. As a retail trader, nobody's paying attention. I mean, if I take one drop and I throw it in the ocean neither rises nor falls. I mean, that is kind of what's going on. So when you enter your trade, think of it in this way. Because of millions of participants, working in the market at the same time, and a lot of them being much, much bigger than we are, the price is going to go where price is going to go. That means that if I enter the trade or if I don't enter the trade, price was going to go exactly where it went as we saw it print. This is super important because at the end of the day, it means that when I enter my trade, I can't view it as somebody else beat me. No, it's just the stream was going to flow where it was going to flow, and I either happened to hop in at the right moment or I happened to hop in at the wrong moment. So the attitude adjustment as we think about our edge, so the main part is the reason I lost is I was executing my edge and probabilities were playing out, weren't they? So when you saw me lose that trade, what it really meant was my let's just say my win percentage is 60 or 70% win percentage. It just happened to be probability was playing out so that I was in that 40 to 30% losing set right there. This is really helpful for me at the moment, and here's an encouragement for you to think about is either writing it on a sheet, writing it on a journal, putting it on a sticky note that you put right on your trading desktop, laptop, to remind you that price is going to go where price is going to go. So the moment that your entry is hit in, your stop limit or your market entry is entered, from that moment, reminding yourself, and this is something I'm actively doing as well, and it's been proving to be helpful, is to remind myself it doesn't matter what I do at this point. I could move my stop loss up closer. I could move it further away. I could, try and bring my take profit in closer to make sure I get hit. I can do all that. It doesn't matter. Price was going to go wherever it's going to go with or without me, whether I'm in the trade or not. And then that gives me the freedom for whether it loses or whether it wins, for me to remind myself this is just the probabilities working themselves out in this case. So that if I get into a string of losing positions or trades, there again, I'm reminding myself, look, this is nothing to be upset about. This is not like the football game where I got the single touchdown and need to celebrate, or somebody got a touchdown against me and now I need to, feel the angst of it. No, rather this was just, in a game of hundreds of baskets being made, one basket was made on that side, and now it's my turn to make the next basket, and it just goes back and forth. It's not raising the emotions as much. So if you're interested in supporting this channel as I continue to grow, check out the piggy bank below for a link. That would be helpful. Look for the next one coming up here. We're going to talk about a few angles on what we should be tracking.